Hello, everybody. This is Pastor Willie, and this is the encouraging word for today. And it's good to see you guys again. Anger. Let's talk about anger. Is anger good? Is anger bad? Is anger a sin? Is it a sin to get angry? Is anger from Satan? Or is anger from God? Or is anger from within us? Now, anger is a normal emotion. And in fact, it is a gift, a good gift that God has given us. It's like an alert system. It alerts us when someone is violating our boundaries, and when someone cuts us off on the road and coming into our boundaries, we feel anger. They're getting into our boundaries. It happens in interpersonal relationships. You get that anger. When someone breaks into your house, anger will come. It's a warning signal that something is wrong. Someone is violating your boundaries. Something is wrong. It can happen when someone hurts us, which is wrong also. But anger is like a fire. A fire can be used for good, to warm, to cook, to heat a house, or fire can be used for evil, to burn down that same house. So anger is God's gift, but Satan's temptation. Two sides to anger. So first, it's important to understand anger biblically to understand anger, because God made us. We're made in his image, and anger is one of the emotions God put into us. And God gets angry. Jesus got angry also. And we're made in his image, so we have the emotion of anger. And I'd like to read to you Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 through 27, which in my opinion is the key biblical verse on anger. If you understand this, you will understand anger. And it's important to understand anger because we have a lot of misconceptions. False guilt can come if we don't understand anger. This is what Paul says in teaching us about anger. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. So he starts out with, in your anger. Anger is your emotion. It's not something outside of you. No one can make you angry. Something happens, and you have an angry response. You have to own your anger. If you have a problem with anger, expressing it in wrong ways, the first step to changing is owning your anger. Owning your anger. So in your anger, so we have anger, do not sin. So it's what you do once you become angry that determines whether it's sin or it is not sin. And so obviously there are two roads you can take when you get angry. A sinful, wrong road, or the correct response when you get angry. Then he says, do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. So that tells us that anger is an emotion that must be resolved either in a good way or released in some way. If it's not released, if it's not dealt with, and by dealing with anger means we deal with the underlying situation that triggered us to become angry. So if we let the sun go down, in other words, we don't deal with it, we will be creating a situation in our life that will be like an open door for Satan. And it will be what they call a foothold, an area of our life that's no longer under the control of God, our emotion of anger. Yes, you can be a Christian and have a demonic foothold, a door that Satan can enter. So that doesn't mean you're demon possessed, but you have a foothold, and it comes from unresolved anger. So that's a basic understanding of anger. Now, Paul has been preaching the gospel with his team. He's had great success, but also he's had great opposition. He preached in Thessalonica. People came to Christ, and then there was a riot, and they persecuted him. He had to escape to a town called Berea. He preaches there again. More people come to Christ. But again, persecution follows him. And so the believers there take him and send him off to the city of Athens, a big city about 140 miles away. And he's alone. And the others are going to come and meet up with him later. So the idea is he's there to protect him. He's there in a safe place. A big city, it's going to be less likely there will be people following him and trying to kill him. So he's going to lay low and be quiet. Do you think Paul can lay low and be quiet? That's when it happens. Listen to Acts 17, verse 16 and 17. While Paul was waiting for them in Athens, he was greatly distressed to see that the city was full of idols. So he reasoned in the synagogue with both Jews and God-fearing Greeks, as well as in the marketplace, day by day, with those who happened to be there. I love the Amplified. It gives us the understanding of that word grieved. His spirit was grieved and roused to anger as he saw the city full of idols. He saw the idols, and an anger rose in his heart. He was grieved, he was broken, and he was angry that people were worshiping idols. People did not know Jesus. So Paul got angry. Was it a sin? No, it was not a sin. His heart was grieved. His heart was angry by the idol worship, by the satanic delusions that people were following. People were living a lie. People were trapped in a false religion. People were lost and headed to hell, not knowing Jesus Christ. He got angry at that. What makes you angry? Do you look at our society, at the way secularism and different philosophies are rising up? Does that make you angry in your heart? Do you get angry at what they teach children in schools? Do you get angry at the false religions on every corner, every area of our world? Do you get angry at witchcraft? Do you get angry that people do not know God and serve false gods or no gods at all? Paul could have said, well, that's their problem. I've been persecuted everywhere I went. I'm going to lie low, take it easy, and not get involved. And the truth of the matter is, you and I adopt that mentality many times. And what happens is we end up just complaining about the world, how bad things are, how things are not like they used to be in the good old days, and we don't do anything. But Paul got angry for the right reason, and the anger drove him to action. He said, well, this is wrong, people serving idols. I have to do something about it. I have to be part of the solution to rescue people from the delusion. He was angry at the right things, and God used the anger to drive Paul to talk to anyone who happened to be around. Isn't that amazing? Anyone who happened to be around. What did he talk to them about? Jesus Christ and salvation in his name alone. So, my friends, today is a day of self-examination in the area of anger. And the first area I want you to examine yourself, and I'll examine myself also, is do you get angry when people do not follow Jesus? Do you get angry? Is that something that upsets you? That the world is turned away from God? Examine your heart, or you just accommodated to that. And the second area of examination is, does that anger drive you to tell people about Jesus? Whoever happens to be around you, to tell them about Jesus. That's God's anger, and why God gives us anger. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow.